Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. With the current roadmap coming to an end with 3.12, what can we expect to see next year with each quarterly release? In this video, I want to shed some light into what we could expect to see released in 2021. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members for all of your support. If you do enjoy my content and would like to support the channel even further, all of the links are in the description below. So the new roadmap, last we heard, is still intended to drop this month. Hopefully that means today, with it being pretty much the last Friday of the month that they are working. And although it'll give us some insight into what we will likely see for the first two quarterly patches, they have said that later patches may seem a little light or even non-existent until they are more confident on what they can release. Of course, once the new roadmap does release, I will break down what we see, but the current roadmap stops with 3.12, so what can we expect to see next year? With core tech like iCache and server meshing slated to come online around mid to late next year, that leaves the first two releases of 2021 in a difficult spot, as the game can't truly expand without this core tech. Now, after speaking to my friend in regards to why we are seeing more desync and 30Ks recently, he mentions how most of it is due to the server memory being at capacity. Now, unfortunately, CIG are having to sacrifice network quality for more content, and they are trying to save on memory allocation in the server to keep the PU as playable as possible. So it's quite safe to say that based on this, the first and possibly the second patches, so quarter 1 and quarter 2, will be quite light in terms of new content, although CIG are hoping to have iCache implemented with quarter 2. It's not a given that they can or that it will release everything we've heard about straight away. But do not be disheartened, as there are plenty of things that they can do with what we have now. Yes, this doesn't mean that we will get major features like pyro, salvaging and base building until those core tech systems are implemented, but Chris Roberts did state that if they took the time to finish and polish the existing professions, it would make the game have no rival. Alongside this, they will continue to bug fix and improve the user experience, with cargo, piracy and bounty hunting being high on their list to receive extra love and attention to make these professions fully rounded and fun, of which we have seen the first steps to this in Alpha 3.12, for example the tractor beam being able to manipulate cargo, refineries and some major updates to mining. Bounty hunting has also seen some updates with reputations and only showing the god marker when the target is within common space, and all of these updates to cargo hauling and bounty hunting will directly, of course, improve the piracy aspects at the same time. So for the first couple of patches in 2021, I expect we will see more improvements to these mechanics that we have right now, building on them more and making them more robust, more engaging and less buggy, and taking the time to polish these as much as possible without the major core tech. Some other professions that Chris Roberts spoke about wanting to expand on are exploration, commodity trading, mercenary and mining, and some other features we've heard about that I would expect to see expand early next year are new guild apps for cargo hauling, mining and bounty hunting. Right now they are going through the existing apps on the Mobiglass and all the existing UI and converting it to building blocks, like the star map for example, and from there they will build new apps. For bounty hunting specifically, we also have seen FPS scanning, which could directly tie into bounty hunting and its associated app, allowing players to track people planet-side and get information of the people they scan. The removal of armistice zones at landing locations so we can apprehend bounties in green zones is something they are heading towards, with spawn lockers to allow NPC forces and groups to spawn in and out where needed. And personally, I feel expanding and polishing what we do have right now, in particular bringing in these new hauling missions we've heard about, making bounty hunting both PvE and PvP more along the lines of tracking and hunting and evading, and continuing to improve mining, refining, FPS and ship combat, then I think there will be more than enough to keep me entertained until the second half of the year. Also, if they focus now on bug fixing these areas as much as possible while we are waiting for iCache and server meshing, then we will have a great platform to bring the new features underpinned by this core tech in, without all the old issues still being there. Now, with the release of Alpha 3.12, CIG also mentioned something pretty exciting. It says in the post, Alpha 3.12 premieres backend tech that enables dynamic events in Star Citizen's ever-expanding universe. Quarterly patch releases will now include new unique missions and server-wide activities, from improving annual events like Invictus Launch Week to enabling patch-exclusive adventures and battles. Dynamic events will begin shaking up the universe very soon. Now, of course, we know this is mostly referring to the Idris for players to take on both sides of the law, but I do wonder what else we could see, especially along the lines of maybe non-combat, preferably industrial side of things. So to recap, for the first half of the year, CIG are focusing on improving the user experience, its current professions that we have in game right now, and the overall quality of life of the PU. So what should we expect with the latter patches of the year being quarter 3 in September and quarter 4 this time next year? Now, if they can get the iCache implemented by quarter 2, then the last 2 patches of the year could really be something pretty special. Obviously, this is if all goes smoothly and the implementation goes as intended, but iCache allows so much more. If you want to learn more about what the iCache can bring, do be sure to check out my video linked in the description below talking further about that specifically. But by the time it is implemented, the professions that we have now will be far more robust and in a great place to begin bringing in new professions and expanding further on the current ones to make them something really, really special. For example, when cargo is physicalized, we will have physical boxes inside our holds that will be interactable, meaning pirates can literally pick them up and steal them to sell on, requiring haulers to hire escorts. Mining veins and resource distribution can be accurately spread across planets and moons, making mining more engaging and realistic. Exploration can be better expanded upon with actual things to find. And then there's new professions and systems that can make their way in, like salvaging, base building, repair, engineering, physical components, physical inventories, and physicalized damage. Now, I'm not saying that as soon as the iCache is implemented, all of this will come in one go, as it will likely be rolled out slowly to ensure that they don't break anything in the process. But my guess is physical damage, physical inventories, and cargo will be some of the first features we see, alongside Tier 0 engineering. And I do also expect we will see more points of interest planet-side, like NPC villages and settlements. We will see them before we really get the chance to build them ourselves, but even so, that is going to be exciting. Now, once server meshing is implemented, which is slated for mid to late next year, and as Chris Roberts puts it, it'll allow them to greatly expand the number of players beyond 50 to thousands. So by this time next year, we may be seeing thousands of players all going about their business, not only in Stanton, with all of its planets including Crusader, but also Pyro. As they have said, they want to bring in Pyro and server meshing along at the same time. Once server meshing is in, then it only really leaves one big ticket feature, which CIG also hope to achieve for the end of 2021. This is Quantum, the back-end universe simulation which handles the dynamic economy, supply and demand, prices of commodities, the missions that are created, and the AI and NPC objectives, based on all the players' actions. Now, whether we will see that for next year, or if it'll go into 2022, or if they get it implemented in 21 and we don't really see anything until 22, I don't know. But if all goes to plan, 2021 will be Star Citizen's most significant year to date, with the game's infrastructure finally being complete and implemented. Then it can become the game that Chris Roberts and we have all been waiting for. Now, that's not to say things will go wrong and problems will arise that no one can predict, but I do feel that 2021, although early on might not be as exciting for new content, the expansion of the current content will make it far more enjoyable and fun to play, and then for the end of the year, a great starting point for them to start filling out the world with much more. So that is my predictions for next year. As I said in the beginning of the video, we will hopefully have the initial new roadmap drop today and give us a huge insight into everything that CIG is working on, which will be a great morale booster. And even if the dates are still fluid and not known or specified, we will still have stuff to get hyped for. So do expect a lot of videos covering the roadmap once that drops. But with that said, I'm really excited for 2021, and Star Citizen is really feeling like it's shaping up to be something special. Now, I hope that you are all enjoying 3.12. I am yet to play it on the live build, but I will most certainly be streaming it today. So if you do want to come and hang out, it is twitch.tv/supermacbrothers. Everybody is welcome. Make sure to hit subscribe for more Star Citizen content and tick that notification bell if you want to be notified when my videos go live. And if you can do the channel a big favor and hit that like button, I would really appreciate it. Again, a massive thank you to my patrons and channel members who allow me to make these kinds of videos. Cannot do it without you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.